Go back to being an oil vizier. Bulldozer!
What are the stats on that? Because this thing was being... because it was being used in some time trials.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it would be 5.
Yeah. It'd be 2-2.
Yeah, so like if you do one more.
If I do one more, I could do
2,
2, and that finishes 100.
Okay.
But then 150 will probably be their own recordings for sanity. This is one of the worst things I have ever attempted in a video game. The ranking system is bad. It's too strict. There is no reason that losing a single gate at the beginning should bar me from the triple stars. There's like no reason that the triple stars should be this fucking hard. This isn't good game design.
You're able to bounce off someone.
This isn't good game design. This is way too strict. And this is 100. Wholeheartedly fuck 150. This is too RNG dependent. This is way too strict, and I agree with this YouTuber I was talking about in a couple of these failed attempts. I agree with this one YouTuber because what they basically said is my feelings. It's like, why does it matter if I pass like the first gate in like second place? Only the final ranking should matter. And we repeated. I'm gonna repeat what Carson said the other day, because I agree with that idea.
Because of getting attempts again, like, and it is because I almost think it literally is the crown, because the crown only shows up on first.
Okay, I know the crown only shows up on first.
No, it only shows up on first after the first gate. Because of that, it is literally keep the crown.
Except, well, okay, first of all, technically, yes, and technically, no shit there, but there's no reason for it. You could say, oh, they want you to keep the crown, but there's no reason for that.
Except keeping the crown shows that you were in first the entire time. And that is the reason. Keeping the crown shows that you were in first the whole time.
Yes, and I know you're going to keep saying it, and I get why you're repeating that. And from a semantic standpoint, what you just said is not incorrect. As in, what you said is semantically true. But from a design perspective, that dumb semantic idea is not game design that needs to be here. You can say why, but you can't say why other than them equating the ranking system to the ranking system of the base Grand Prix coming first in all courses. Except in a knockout tour, the courses are single lap things. In knockout tour, the courses are single laps. It's single segments. You have to come in first in all 6 segments, which is a matching equivalent of the ranking system for the Grand Prix, which is coming first in all the tracks in a cup. Which again, all the tracks in a cup, that makes enough sense. And that ranking system doesn't bother me because it is 4 basically tracks in a cup, segments or not, 4 tracks in a cup makes sense. Changing to winning everything makes sense because it's traditional racing. This is an elimination round where the whole point... Ooh. Good on you. This is literally an elimination round where you are doing really long stretches of content and you have to win all the content in one shot. And yes, I get from a semantic point, it's keep the crown, which just means coming first in all the gates. And if you're going to create an equivalent idea, coming in first at all the gates is an equivalent of coming in first in every track, which is the rules of Mario Kart that they changed to, but Knockout Tour is not suited for that type of rule set, when realistically, if you make it up to the final 4, the ranking system should entirely be determined by the placement of the final 4, because there is no reason that the ranking system needs to be designed this way. Like, I mean, it's technically, if we're going to compare, it is consistent with Grand Prix, but just because it's consistent doesn't mean it makes sense in context. And I agree with this one YouTuber that's like, why does it matter early on if I am technically a little bit behind? Shouldn't the final 4 be the determining factor, since even within Grand Prix and stuff, they basically have this whole, like, other point, like, even within the Knockout Tour, and this is really funny, within the Knockout Tour, where, like, be 8th or better, and as you go down, because, you know, we've done a Knockout Tour, we've commented on this, it's be 4th or better, and then the final section is aim for first place. Where they consider the aiming for first, like, the most important part, since you end the Knockout Tour in first. Meaning you ended an elimination thing in first place. And Carson's thing that he said, that I was building to as my own point in that other recording, I think is a better ranking system for Knockout Tour. Come in first on the final checkpoint section, get 3 stars. Come in second, get 2. Come in third, get 1. Come in 4th, that's a win, but not a trophy win. And that would actually, and of course, I see the blue shell.
Ow.
Though, what's funny, even with that blue shell, I have a somewhat decent lead, but blue shells hadn't fired as much in this stupid cop. Oh good, the great equalizer.
Yes.
I can deal with that. Final section.
Yes. Hexagon, the final shot.
Of course, but then I get 2 blue shells in a row. Of course I'm in second. Of course I'm going to lose. Of course. RNG. is a fucking bitch. Unless I can ask for it, I'm going to lose. Actually, wait.
Wait. Oh, right, there they are. Ooh. Ooh.
On. Don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care.
Ooh. Ooh.
It's whatever, I win. Okay.
Ay, ay, ay.
We'll be stopping in a minute.
I wish the game showed the times of everyone who finished, because I would love to know how, like, many milliseconds behind
I
Luigi
won when I didn't get bombarded by like 20 blue shells.
Yes.
So many of those losses were blue shell, blue shell, blue shell, blue shell. The ranking system is dumb.
Yeah, they don't show it all the times anymore.
Yeah.
Cowards.
The ranking system is dumb. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, I know I bitched about this at a different point, but I still think I can make a good question out of this. How many of you collectively agree with the point I was trying to make about the ranking system? And I'm technically going to turn this into two very similar questions, because both of these are tangentially related. So, my first main question is basically what I just asked. How many of you agree with the overall point I was making about the ranking system? Which includes this bonus question. Do you think the ranking system for Knockout Tour should have only cared about where you placed in the final 4 placements, because at that point, that's all that's left? So if you came in first, that would mean you not only didn't get eliminated, but you actually won the overall race. Which, again, I think would have been fine. There's really no reason for the ranking system. Which gets to my second question, which I said I would ask because it's tangentially related. How many of you think that Carson completely missed the point I was trying to make about the ranking system? Because we had that small argument Now, some of this was in a failed attempt, so context is basically needed, but even in the successful attempt, we still had about the same argument, but I will give some context. So I was bitching about the ranking system and asking in a very literal sense why it worked the way that it did. And Carson gave a more direct answer on why it works the way that it does from a game design perspective, as in he was basically stating what the game expects, because he basically noticed when you get in first, you get that crown. So he had this dumb, pointless aha moment of, I solved the mystery. The reason you need to be in first, you have a crown. The game expects you to have that crown. It's so obvious. So in the successful attempt, that's why he had that statement as if he was solving some great mystery, where he basically noticed, when you're in first, you have the crown. Which, like I said, yes, that's technically why it works the way that it does, but that doesn't answer why it works the way that it does, because there is no reason that you need to pass all the gates. They could have programmed the game to rank you based on your placement in the final 4 places. The whole crown thing is pointless semantics, because that is just stating what the game expects and what the game is doing, but that's not a good reason for that ranking system to exist. All Carson's aha moment revealed was the obvious basics of the game, so that's sort of a no shit Sherlock. He didn't solve anything. He just pointed out what the game was doing, but that doesn't justify the stupid game design. All that does is point out the metric that the game is going on, but that metric is unneeded. That's why I'm framing a question around this, because Carson really did miss my fucking point. Yeah, he stated what the game expected and what the game was doing, but that doesn't answer why. It answered why in a dubious, vague game mechanic sense, but it doesn't answer why in the sense of, why did they decide that this was a good ranking system, when I really do feel like the ranking system should have only cared about your placement in the final 4 places. But I am starting to ramble. So, anyway, you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.